Hello and welcome to Happy Horror Time. My name is Tim Murdoch.
And my name is Matt Emmert. How's it going, Tim?
Never better.
Really? What's life been like for you?
Well, it's been a week. Let me tell you.
Tell us, Tim.
Okay, well,
let me tell you.
I had an interesting week because it was something like I haven't gone to the doctor in a long time, but I wanted to get the blood checked.
Did you fast beforehand?
Yes, you do have to. And I did it like it was crazy because I did it at 2:00 in the afternoon. So I couldn't eat breakfast.
You know what? That's an issue.
That was tough.
Oh, because that's how they test your cholesterol. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know my cholesterol was high.
Everyone's is. Mine is. Yours is. Everyone's
I'm not saying I'm like the Facebook.
I'm the Facebook.
I'm the Facebook. I'm the face of health because I do have a sweet tooth. I have a sweet tooth.
Okay, so you went to a doctor's appointment.
Yes, and so he said, "Oh, there's something like right above your butt, and it needs to be removed." And I said, "Okay."
Is there a crack in it?
Yeah, and I said, "Don't stitch up my butt." And he said, "Okay." So then I went to get it removed, and I got 5 stitches. It's not a big deal, but it's just right above my butt.
So you had your butt removed.
I had my butt removed.
Wait. Let me get this straight. I'm trying to follow. Okay. Something above your butt was removed. You had 5 stitches.
Right.
Okay. Did it hurt?
Well, I mean, it's Novocaine, right?
Oh, you're talking about the new movie with
Novocaine starring Dennis Quaid's son.
Oh my God, Jack Quaid. Yeah. Which I have not seen, and I don't think I care that I'm missing it.
I mean, I'm curious. If someone was like, "Hey, Tim, do you want to go see Novocaine?" I'd be like, "Okay,
let's practice." Right?
Okay.
Hey, Tim, I was going to go see Novocaine. You want to go?
Was this via text or the phone?
This is text, of course.
Oh, okay.
Nobody calls. Please.
Okay.
Beep, boop, 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 boop. Hey, Tim, want to go see Novocaine?
And
I thought you were going to say like leave conversation. Okay,
no.
So you got the thing removed.
Yeah. So I got. But it's a weird place to have people poking around your butt, and so like I put on the paper this way.
The
right?
paper? Like a paper robe thing.
Yes, the paper robe.
Got it.
And so she was, the girl that helped me was so sweet. She was so nice. She's like, "Do you mind if I assist the doctor?" And I go, "What? Sure, whatever." So,
she touched you.
She touched me and she goes, "Spank that butt, spank that butt." No, I'm kidding.
Do you mind if I assist the doctor?
Yeah, she goes, "I just like to sing little ditties off to the side." And I'm like, "Perfect."
Wait, was your doctor male or female?
He was male.
Okay.
And she was female, but actually, truth be told, she already put me at ease. I felt more comfortable with her.
Well, yeah,
I didn't want the guy coming in. Anyway, So he came in. Well, actually, let me back up. So she's like, "Okay," so I put on the thing and she goes, "Lay down." So I laid down and then she's like, "I'm going to put this over your butt." I said, "Okay."
Did she really call it
She
butt?
didn't call it butt.
Okay.
She's like, "I'm going to put this over here." So when the doctor opened the door, when the girl slammed the door, the little thing the second robe to cover up my butt just flew off.
And your butt was hanging
exposed. So when the doctor came in and he was like, "Woo!"
And then he was like, and then it turned to a porn.
Yeah, it was like, bounce, wow.
Now, so your butt was hanging out there.
My butt was hanging out.
What would you do if the doctor looked and he's like, "Juicy" or something?
I was like, "Thank you."
I have had awkward things happen at the Was this a dermatologist or a doctor?
I guess it was like, I guess it's vanity kind of, but just in case.
No. I mean, what kind of doctor was it?
He was short. Is that what you mean? What kind of doctor? He was a short doctor.
Okay. Was it a dermatologist, which is a skin doctor?
Yeah, sure.
That was the best.
I have no idea.
Can I just go back a second? I said, what kind of doctor was it? Well, he was short.
He was short.
No, I meant
his assistant towered over him.
Oh, it's always a fun day with Tim. Okay, I've been to the dermatologist and I had to get. Oh my God, this is going into sometime I had I think it was like a skin tag or something
but those are frozen off.
Yeah, basically in the taint area, as in between your balls and your butt.
Okay, so I thought I had it bad. You have it worse.
Okay, I had it bad, but this is why I'm telling this story. Because the dermatologist that day was like, "Okay, we have an intern that's shadowing me today. Would you mind if the intern sat in on this procedure?" And I have never been one of those people to dismiss things. I don't even care. But I was like, you know what? Truthfully, I'm going to have my legs up with all of that exposed. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable. Is there any way maybe they
I
can
get
not?
it.
And the doctor was like, I totally understand.
I mean, somewhere along the line, I grew mature.
Have you? Though?
I grew up a little bit.
Have
and I was
either
like,
of us?
I thought, no, probably not.
Yeah.
But I thought to myself, these people probably see naked people all the time.
All
Who
the time.
cares?
But me, when my legs are up and like my whole, like you're looking at my balls, my butt, like I don't want some intern doing that. And I was just
get it.
they can shadow.
But they need to learn.
They need to learn. So watch some porn. No, I was just, it was such a bizarre, weird position for me. And I'm like, this is the day you have to have your intern there. Like, no.
I know. So the point of us talking about this is so to make other people more comfortable when they go to the hospital and they have to just, be in awkward positions.
We all have weird shit on our bodies.
I do not. I'm perfect.
Some more than others.
Now.
Some more than others, Tim. Now, when do you get the stitches out?
April 4th.
So if I punched you in the tailbone, in the butt, punched you in the butt.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be great.
I mean, who knows? Whatever.
Well, that's an eventful week. I don't think I haven't really had a really eventful week, but I was trying to think about the last time we had a regular episode where we reviewed a movie. Oh, the monkey. Yeah. Because we've been having, I don't know if you've noticed, listeners and watchers and everything. We've been doing a lot of interviews lately, which has been really fun. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up that is, great. This month alone, before this episode, we had an interview at the beginning of the month with Robbie Morgan from the original Friday the 13th.
The best film in the world.
Tim's favorite film, if you didn't know.
We watched it recently in Jacob got the 4K, and it was really good. I loved it.
Yes, we watched Friday the 13th in 4K, which was amazing. And so we had Robbie Morgan, and then we just had an interview with, it was our first fivesome, Tim, because we had three people on at once. Sean Nichols Lynch, his second return appearance to the podcast.
Director of Red Snow.
Yes, and he just directed a found footage movie and his two co-writers. And that was fun, but I've got to say, juggling an interview with three people at once, it's no easy feat.
Oh, really? I thought it was pretty easy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, it was because there's Tim, there's me, there's three of them. We talk so much as it is.
I know.
I did say to them beforehand, and they're such cool guys. It was so easy, but I was like, and I said, this is more for Tim and I than you guys, but I was like, okay, we have to all make sure.
Don't talk over each other?
Yes.
See what I did there?
Exactly. I was like, we talk over each other so much as it is, we have to all not interrupt each other. But I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And
I think we were all respectful.
And we have, we just have a ton of interviews planned. But anyway, that doesn't mean we're not going to be reviewing big films. There's tons of big films coming out.
This film that we're going to talk about today was a huge film played across America on every screen.
So we don't always have to only review movies that have theatrical releases. Sometimes there's movies that are released on streaming or VOD that are good, you have some hype, and we looked at this movie and we're like, we gotta talk about this movie because the cast, so we're talking about The Parenting, and if you haven't heard of it or haven't seen it, it was on Max.
Which I sadly don't have. I have to watch it at your house.
You don't have Max. It used to be HBO, then HBO Max, now just Max.
I have Paramount Plus to watch The Bold and the Beautiful, and I have Peacock so I can watch Housewives fill in the city.
Wait, you don't even have Netflix?
No.
That's weird.
True?
Hulu?
No. Hulu.
No Hulu, no Netflix. We have every single one. We have Apple TV. Well, we just and you know what the worst part is, Tim? Let me tell you.
Your bill's huge.
That and everyone steals from us. All of our family uses ours.
That's what families are for.
Yeah, but why can't we use some of theirs?
That's not what family's about.
That's what families are for.
Did she used to be part of the psychic hotline?
Dionne Warwick?
Yeah.
She did.
But if she was so psychic, wouldn't she know it went off the air? Just kidding.
Low blow at Dionne Warwick.
Listen, she was not nice on The Apprentice to someone.
That was true. Wow, you're pulling out weird references.
Who was she mean to? Dionne Warwick was mean to someone.
I can't remember. A much younger person.
Right. She wasn't there to make friends.
She wasn't. Anyway, I totally lost track. Oh, what were we talking about? The Parenting. It was released on Max, and we're like, okay, let's do this movie because we looked at the cast alone, and we were like, oh my God, this movie has the coolest cast ever. Lisa Kudrow, Parker Posey, Edie Falco, Brian Cox, Dean Norris, Brandon Flynn from 13 Reasons Why, Nick Dodani, who I recognized him, but I didn't know what he had been in. But it was just tons of heavy hitters. And we watched the trailer, and it looked ridiculous, but we're like, this is going to be fun.
Who's the singer from 98 Degrees?
Nick Lachey.
He's not in it.
Where did that come from?
I was like,
that's the only other Nick you know?
Yeah, that's the only other
How about
Nick.
Nick Stahl from Terminator 3?
Yes, and he was in something else.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, you're
Only
right,
Terminator
you're right.
3. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Nick Stahl. I need to know one other Nick Stahl.
Bully.
Oh, he was in the one with Mel Gibson, The Man with Two Faces, or The Man Without a Face.
Does he have two faces or he has no face?
No, he has no face.
No face, but it's two faces.
I think Nick Stahl was in, with Mel Gibson, The Man Without a Face.
Nick Stahl was also in those two movies. When we talked to Devon Sawa, remember he killed Devon Sawa in two different movies because that was like a funny thing.
Oh, Hunter,
and one about, it was like something, an address, something road, something. Anyway, he kills Devon Sawa. But sorry, spoiler
He kills
alert.
Devon Sawa.
He kills Devon Sawa twice. But Nick
in
Stahl,
real life.
Well, but anyway, Nick Stahl's not in this. But we saw the trailer for this, and the cast is great. First off, Parker Posey's having such a moment right now because Parker Posey has always been great, but on White Lotus.
Oh, by the way,
do her voice on White Lotus.
Piper, no.
Tsunami.
Buddhism.
Piper, no.
I don't want to be that person that like so gaily does it.
Okay, do it even gayer. Go.
Piper, no.
That's better to me.
You're making me be someone I don't want to be.
I can't do accents at all, Tim.
Well, thank you.
Can you
You're saying I could do one?
Oh,
country.
Passable.
Thank you.
Anyway, Piper
Paraboo, star of Coyote Ugly.
I can't even. Parker Posey is having a moment. I feel like that should be a tongue twister. No, Parker Posey and
having a moment.
Parker Posey and Piper Paraboo
walk into a bar,
and I was trying to think of more P words. Picked a peck of pickle peppers.
Pickle.
Yeah. Anyway, Parker Posey's having a moment. She's in this movie. We did find out though it was filmed like how many years ago? 3 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, you're giving me new information.
Oh, sorry. Okay, it was filmed in 2022. Why they waited so long? I'm not sure.
That's interesting. Well, they do say like New Line Cinema. So was this supposed to be in the theater? It looks like it could be.
It looked like it could be, and the cast sure makes it seem like it could have been. But it's a horror comedy, and the thing is, we've talked about horror comedies before. A lot of films we talk about are horror comedies, but this is much heavier on the comedy.
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of raunchy in the American Pie kind of way, and apparently the guy that wrote it or directed it.
Wrote it, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, the guy that directed it also, I realized, directed The Skeleton Twins starring Kristen Wiig, and I'll never remember the other guy.
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader.
You'll never remember Bill Hader?
I mean, I couldn't, that name doesn't just roll off my tongue.
You're a hater.
I'm a hater.
Bill Hader.
No, but he has that big show and everyone loves it, and I don't watch it.
Oh God, Barry. Sometimes, like, the funny thing is, so Tim always does that. He'll be like, "What's the name of that thing?" And I have to think, and half the time I can't.
At this point, you're basically just watching your parents struggle to remember anything pop culture.
Seriously, that's like watching Happy Horror Time. Yeah. So the parenting, if you have Max, if you don't, get a friend who has Max and use their password because Max doesn't check that like password sharing thing.
Matt, don't. You're gonna get yourself
busted.
Oh my
God.
Max
FBI.
is always watching HHT.
Look, FBI. We're here for we're promoting sharing of passwords for Max.
They've got handcuffs.
Oh my God, Tim, take over.
Okay.
Look, now you're like, God, thank God, he's gone.
Now I can say something.
I'm sitting back. Okay, so the parenting. So anyway, if you have Max, if you don't have Max, ask someone who does. But this was released to streaming, great cast. So we'll just get into it, but it is a horror comedy. So nothing works better than a good old 80s scene to start things off. And they start things off in the parenting
1983.
Oh, wow. Good memory.
And they did a really good job of capturing 1983 as someone who was alive in 1983.
You're like, I was 30
no, let me
You were
math.
like, what, 6, 7?
Six.
6, 7, 7, 6?
6. The devil's number.
Damien from The Omen. Okay, so it's 1983, and there's like a mom, a daughter, and a son. And first off, I love their clothes because the mom looks like June Cleaver.
I actually thought it was Kristen Wiig for like a hot second. I was like,
would have made
they
sense.
got Kristen Wiig?
The son has short shorts on, which can't they just bring back short shorts for guys? Tim?
Well, apparently you watched Magnum P.I. Did you watch Magnum P.I. as a kid?
When in the 80s?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well, it stars Tom Selleck, and Tom Selleck's pants were so jacked up. You could see a lot.
Like what?
His thighs.
His morning glory?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. The 80s were great for people who like men because they wore short shorts, they wore tight pants, that kind of stuff. Anyway, so this guy's wearing short shorts. The girl has the bangs, everything.
Well, the daughter is wearing a Culture Club t-shirt. Yes. And I had that tape. Or maybe my brother had it.
And there's weird stuff coming in. And one thing that you see is all of the wallpaper starts like peeling off the building. And the mom, I don't remember what exactly caused it, but she
went to check the basement and because there was there a noise or something?
opening, and she gets pulled by like a creature.
And then, because the son steps out for a second, and then he comes back in and is like, Mom? And then what happens to the son?
He gets pulled into the basement too, and then you hear like screaming, and you assume that the daughter got pulled in or something. But this is the opening scene, so they're just like now. But one thing I will say is, right from the beginning, they're not treating it like scary. Like, did you get a scary vibe from that opening scene? No, it's
not like they're not trying to be eerie like horror. Like it's not a straight ahead horror film. It's not even like Stranger Things. It's like just kind of comedic and
kooky.
Sweet. It's kooky.
Yeah, I was thinking of the Addams Family. They're crazy and they're kooky all together.
I'm not going to partake in that.
Okay. So then we switch to the present. But so that's the little backstory. 1980s, family got, some creature took the family, whatever. So we switch to the present day, and we are presented with our main two guys, and they're a gay couple. Oh my God.
This is very
controversial.
Today, very great.
And it's Josh, who's played by Brandon Flynn. If you remember, he was in 13 Reasons Why. He was also in the Hellraiser reboot. We definitely watched that.
I watched that. I don't remember much.
And his boyfriend Rohan, who's played by Nick Dodani, and I guess he was like in a Netflix show called Atypical. I never watched it, but he was so familiar. And the revival
of CBS's Murphy Brown.
He was?
That's what I just read.
Oh. So it's Rohan and Josh, and they are a gay couple, and they are on their way with their dog, which was so sweet. And what was their dog's name? Katie?
Let's say that.
Yep. Yeah, Katie. Yeah. But I love it. Maybe I have a sweet spot for gay couples with dogs.
That was a really cute dog. And the dog didn't have much to do in the movie. There's another 3 dogs in the movie. Oh, yeah. But we'll get there. This is
a big thing. They are going, and it's a big event because their parents are going to be meeting, hence the parenting for the first time. But what they've decided to do is they've rented an Airbnb and
it's this huge house.
Yeah, they've gotten their parents to come to visit together. So it's like neutral ground. And it's the first time both boys are meeting the parents and the parents are meeting each other. Now, what could happen there, Tim?
I told Matt, I said, this story of just the gay couple meeting with the parents, I said, as a horror podcast, I was like, I don't even know if I need all this scary stuff. I'm just content with Lisa Kudrow, Parker Posey, and Edie Falco, and like the two gay couples. The one gay couple, but the two gay guys. But I thought this is enough.
You know
this is enough.
This 8 is enough.
8 is enough. The TV show starring. Can you name one person from that?
Fuck no.
I should.
That's before our time.
Okay, so I'm gonna have a point here.
Okay, go.
Eileen Davidson.
Yes.
From House on Sorority Row and
Real Housewives
of Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. She married Beast.
Yes.
She married Van Patten, and Van Patten's dad was the dad on 8 is Enough. The end.
Wow. Yeah. Wait, his name is Van Patten
Van Patten? He was also in the horror film, which we've watched many times. Hell Night.
Oh, his last name's Van Patten.
Right. Do you remember his first name?
No.
Okay, anyway.
But that's a random reference, but But okay.
Sorry.
No, I love your random references because it opens my mind to things I've never thought of before.
Or never will.
Or never will again. Anyway, so yeah, the thing is, it had vibes of, do you remember the first sequel to Meet the Parents called Meet the Fockers?
Yeah.
Of course. So because all the parents were meeting in that one for the first time and it's straight comedy, this one had that vibe because their parents, well, before we get to the parents, I want to introduce, when they first get to the Airbnb, the person who's managing the Airbnb is played by Parker Posey.
Yes, and she's got a braid down to her butt crack, which probably doesn't have 5 stitches.
She has this big braid, and she's kind of a free spirit, and the best thing is she's like, you guys gay? And they're like, yeah. And she's like, okay, that'll do.
And that means that she's clearly putting a spell on them because we're watching a movie about magic.
Yeah, it was just really funny because they also catch her carving a circle around the property. So it's obvious that she's doing something supernatural.
Right. It's like a very what's that thing that Satan worshipers do? It's like a
seance? No. Pentagram.
Thank you. I was never going to get that big word.
But the circles are usually when they're like, you're doing like a spell and you don't leave the circle. You remember the craft.
Yeah. I love it.
Do the craft. She's the trees.
It's the trees. It's everything.
Oh God, Mano. I can feel him through
Oh my gosh, Rachel True.
Mano. Rachel True. How about Fairuza Balk?
No, but Rachel True also goes Mano. Yeah.
Mano?
Yeah. Remember, she's like 30, but she's in high school.
Okay, so Parker Posey is like running the Airbnb. She's weird as fuck. perfect for Parker Posey. And then, like, I remember she kind of leaves, and I was like, is that all we get of Parker Posey?
But yeah,
it's not.
Not that I needed like Parker Posey throughout.
I did.
I mean, it's weird to watch a movie where Parker Posey is the focus. I mean, it's great because I just watched one called The O in Ohio.
Oh, in Ohio,
The
Piper.
O in Ohio is about a woman who can't have the big O.
Oh, what O is that?
I'm not going to say.
An orgasm?
Yeah, yes. Okay. And it's Paul Rudd plays her husband, and then Paul Rudd has an affair with Misha Barton. And then Parker Posey has an affair with Danny DeVito. Enjoy. It's called The O in Ohio.
What? The O?
The O in Ohio.
Wow. Was it a good movie?
I thought it was interesting.
Wait, one thing I feel like is so awkward for any actor is having to actually have an orgasm on camera. Did Parker Posey have to actually pretend like she's having one?
Well, yes.
Like she had to go,
Yes. And Paul Rudd walks in and he's like pissed because they've been married for 10 years and he never could do that.
That's
I know.
Cool.
So anyway, the movie kind of came and went back in 2006.
Did it come?
Oh my God.
Sorry. The
parenting.
Well, okay, back to the parenting. So, another thing that's supposed to happen, which is a big secret, is that Ro is planning on proposing to Josh this weekend, which I've got to say, I don't think you should mix too many things in one weekend. If you already have the stress of parents meeting each other for the first time, I wouldn't throw a proposal on it.
I like to have 4 weddings and a funeral.
Wait, I've never heard of that.
It's a film starring Hugh Grant and Andy McDowell.
So, but they have, of course, like every gay couple, they have their really close girlfriend. Her name is Sarah. And she is a really funny part because she's trying to tell Rohan, do not propose to Josh this weekend. You're not ready. But she accidentally texts Josh,
oh my gosh,
don't propose to Josh this weekend. And Josh texts back and says, what are you talking about?
She text messages the wrong person. And I've done that.
Everyone has.
The worst one I've ever done is I screenshot a conversation and I sent it to the person that I just screenshot. And they were like, why did you screenshot our conversation? Oh, I had to do some major backpedaling.
I've got a story too because
it's the worst feeling ever.
My best friend had hooked up with my old roommate, straight guy and girl. Okay. Girl was the roommate, best friend guy. And it was totally a like one night stand. He was not interested in her. She kind of thought it was going to be more. And I was going to text him and I was trying to be nice and just saying, because I knew them both, I was saying like, you got to say something to her if she contacts you, like, please don't ignore her. And I texted that to her.
Did she put 2 and 2 together?
I mean, she's got to. I think she said something like, I don't think that was meant for me. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I may have tried to talk my way into saying it was about someone else, but it was so obviously about her.
Oh my gosh.
At least I was standing up for her, but still.
It's heartbreaking to, it's just, I can't think
awful.
of a worse.
Would you remember, Tim, when I texted you that message that said, oh my God, Tim's such a bitch?
I said accurate. Just kidding. I'm not. I'm not a bitch. I'm a nice guy.
Nick, can you imagine if like one of us texted the other one like, "Oh God"? It's also
from you. I honestly think that I could easily get out of it. Like, just kidding.
Just kidding. Anyway, so she texts Josh this and he's like, what the fuck? But tell everyone what her response is, because the best is you see her typing and she's trying different things.
Yeah, the 3 like possible excuses she was going to use were super, super funny. And I wish I could remember because I was laughing so hard.
I don't remember. Like the first one was like,
I was talking to my sister and then she goes,
I was talking to my sister. No.
And then the last one she uses is the emoji that just is like this.
Shrugging his shoulders. So
I do not like when people send me the shrug shoulder.
Okay, so Tim, like, here, ask me something.
Okay, Matt.
What are you doing tonight?
What are you doing tonight? Because there was this guy that I went out with for like a hot minute, and like anytime I asked him a question, he'd send this emoji like,
shrugging.
No, I don't know.
Fuck that. No.
He moved away. It's fine.
Good riddance.
But
good
I do miss
Shrugger.
him.
Good riddance, Shrugger.
I miss him.
Okay, good. No, not good.
I mean,
anyway,
parts of him.
That's kind of like a side thing. So then all the parents arrive, and we just got to explain a little bit about the parents. Because, okay, so Rohan's parents, he is an adopted, he's adopted. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is because it comes into play. His parents are played by Edie Falco and Brian Cox. Now, everyone knows Edie Falco from The Sopranos. And Brian Cox,
I wasn't that familiar with him. him?
I wasn't as familiar with him either, but apparently I'm looking up. He's a Scottish actor, and I know he's been in a lot of stuff.
He's classically trained Shakespearean actor, and I'm sure when he got this script,
he must
have been blown away.
This is not classically trained. Yeah. He was Nuremberg. He was in, but anyway, he's an older actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. But the parents of Rohan's, you can tell that they raised him in a way where it's very prim and proper.
Right. She's a psychologist, and you can tell that they're just kind of like, I don't want to use the word snooty, but
I'd say snooty.
Okay, they're a little uptight.
And Rohan is a little bit more like, prim and proper. And his boyfriend, Josh, is more like he's a musician.
He wears tight t-shirts.
He's like, he's more like go with the flow. But the best part is, because I love dirty jokes, their dog runs up to the mom right away and is smelling her crotch. And he's feeling awkward. He's trying to make a joke in front of the parents. And he's like, oh my God, we think our dog's a lesbian because she loves the smell of...
And then they stop. And thank God they do.
Because what was he going to say to him?
I can't say.
He loves the smell of roses. So, no, but it's like, that's not even me who's dirty. That's not the first thing you want to say to your boyfriend's
parents. A horrible introduction.
When I met Jacob's mom for the first time, I'm trying to remember like how that situation was. I know it was good, but
I'm sure it was sweet.
It was sweet because his mom is so sweet and just laid back. And like, she has a Southern accent because it's from Arkansas and very different from me. But like,
you don't have a Southern accent?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but it was very different, and we didn't have a dog with us, so there was no cooter smelling.
Oh my goodness!
So, but the thing is that poor Josh is stumbling with everything he's saying and not making a good impression.
Right before the parents showed up, he's like, "Don't tell my parents that you lost your job."
And it's like, you don't want your boyfriend attended because...
Oh my gosh. Like, that's heartbreaking to me.
Well, because Rohan wants his parents who are so prim and proper to accept him, and Josh just lost his job. And so Josh has to pretend he's still working at, they said REI, the camp store.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but really he's like dropped the job because he wants to be a musician. And like Rohan's like, don't tell him you want to be a musician.
As soon as you hear someone say they want to be like a singer or songwriter, you're just like,
sure.
You don't have a job.
I know. And it's like, I hate that because obviously people do succeed in music.
They do.
But I know when you're thinking about you want to impress your parents.
That's not going to impress them.
No, that's not going to impress them. So then Josh's parents come in. I don't know, which parents would you have rather had?
Lisa Kudrow, of course.
Yeah. Josh's mom.
But I do like Edie Falco's style.
Oh, well, but style's not going to help you as a parent.
That's true.
Okay, so like her style, that's going to make it for a great mom.
Yeah.
Anyway, Josh's parents are played by Lisa Kudrow, who's hilarious. She's playing Liddy, not Libby.
And I don't mean this.
Oh my God, you hate Lisa Kudrow.
I absolutely love Lisa Kudrow, but you could see Phoebe and you could see Valerie Cherish. Like, no matter how hard she tries, and I don't mean this as a diss because it always works, but a lot of her line delivery is like Valerie Cherish, like, yeah, okay. Like,
oh, of course.
No, I love it.
But then, like, it's so hard to see when you play such iconic characters.
Right, and like, same thing with Parker Posey, like, when Parker Posey and Lisa Kudrow are perfect examples of actresses that, yes, they can be other roles, but there's still the traces of their funny.
They have that funniness in them.
Yeah, they have that foundation of funny.
But like, there's a lot of actors like Adam Sandler. Is he ever not Adam Sandler?
I saw him in Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems? Did he not seem like Adam Sandler?
He was kind of like a bad guy.
Or how about like Kenan Thompson on SNL? He's always kind of Kenan Thompson-y.
Right. Like, Jack Nicholson's the best example.
Yeah.
Like, Jack Nicholson will always be Jack Nicholson.
But he's very, very talented. Yeah.
No, he's not.
No, he's no talent. Okay, so Lisa Kudrow and his dad, Josh's dad, is played by Dean Norris, who I remembered from Breaking Bad. He's been in a ton of stuff, but he was Breaking Bad, and they have Lisa Kudrow playing like they're much more laid back. But the whole joke is that her name is Liddy, Liddy, and no one can pronounce it. They keep thinking it's Libby, and Edie Falco's like, "What's it short for?" And she's like, "Elizabeth," and she's like, "Shouldn't it have been Liz?" And she's like, "What are you telling me my name, bitch?"
Right. That whole conversation was awkward from the get-go. And
there's more awkwardness. I can see why you thought the comedy stuff alone was good enough because
I was totally just enjoying this. I was like, not that I was saying like, don't bring in the supernatural element, because I of course love that. But it was just a lot.
There was a lot. But before the supernatural stuff starts, like there's more and more comedy. Like finally Josh splits or he makes a mistake and says that he doesn't have that job anymore. And then he's like, oh, but I'm a songwriter. And Edie Falco's like, any songs I know? He's like, no. She's like, well, sing me something. And I don't know about you. I'm not a songwriter, but I would never want to be asked.
No, it's almost
on
like
the spot.
I've experienced like someone said like, "Oh, Tim, you do stand-up comedy." They're like, it's
Tell
almost
me a
like,
joke.
"Tell me a joke, be your funny, do your act." And I'm like, it's not.
No. It's the same thing.
But he actually sang a cappella, right?
It's the same thing. So I work in an ad agency. I write for an ad agency. And like when people say like on the fly, like, you know, give me a good like tagline for something. Like I can't just do it on the spot. Like we're not
I've got
magic.
one. I got one ready. Evil dies tonight. That's a great tagline.
Oh my God. Let's say it 250,000 times in a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sold. Halloween Kills. Anyway, so so he does, poor Brandon Flynn has to sing a cappella, and it was like some song is like Puppet Dog Dreams or something. Like what was it? Puppy Dog Eyes.
It actually wasn't bad a cappella, but Lisa Kudrow as his mom like let the cat out of the bag in front of Edie Falco that he also wasn't employed.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
bad.
all just.
So as they're like settling in, suddenly it starts to snow outside, but like a lot.
And it's like, I'm not looking for realism in this film, but
I think you should.
I was actually looking for only realistic stakes.
Okay.
But I was like, this snow looks CGI.
So,
which is fine.
And apparently that was supernatural because we do see a quick shot of someone shaking a snow globe, aka like putting some sort of spell on them, and then it starts snowing. But it's so much snow, like Tim said, that it just doesn't quite look real. It's so much.
Fine, but when I'm watching a film, I don't ever want to know that like green screens behind the actors. I just don't.
You don't. So you have to imagine it's real.
Right.
That snow was real. So anyway, there's more and more weird shit happens. Like Josh takes some like too many weed gummies, and they all
sit down at dinner and they start singing a song. From the 80s.
Set me free, why don't you, babe? But it almost was like my best friend's wedding scene because at first I thought it was just going to be Josh singing, and they were going to be like, okay, we get it.
I was actually surprised that Edie Falco, as uptight as she is, like joined in, and the dad
joined in. They all joined in singing.
The classically trained actor.
But the weird thing is that you find out that the big like twist here is that the Wi-Fi password, which all weekend they're like, what's the Wi-Fi password? It's this Latin chant, which basically awakens like a demon. So every time they tell each other the Wi-Fi password, like something creepy happens.
They're summoning a demon.
Exactly. And I wrote it down. It's ego sum tibi. Tim, I just summoned a demon. What if suddenly Tim got taken off? Look, Tim. Ego sum tibi. Oh my God, Tim's possessed. Apparently it means, apparently it means take me in Latin. Take me.
Take me.
So, okay. So weird shit happens, like a cupboard falls over. Josh thinks that he was grabbed under the table, but they all just think he's high.
That was actually, well, yeah, because he took 3 gummies, which I've never taken a gummy, but I guess you are more paranoid.
He took like 5 or 6
yeah,
gummies.
That's
and
a lot.
let me tell you, that'll fuck you up.
Yikes.
Like you're not supposed to take that many.
I mean, I do love gummies.
Like the candy. Like just candy.
But so that's why I'd get really confused because like I'm sure they taste just like a gummy candy.
They do. Sometimes you can taste weed or CBD.
Ooh, I don't know if I like it.
We've talked about it. It's like I do CBD gummies, which because I don't.
Before you go to bed?
A lot of times, yeah. It helps me sleep. It relaxes me.
But you don't just do it right in the middle of the day.
No, because I'd be out.
Can you drive while taking it?
I mean, I'm sure, yes, but would you choose to? Are you supposed to? No.
Because you choose to.
But why? Yeah. Okay. So basically, they all go to bed. They're all in their respective bedrooms, and suddenly
there's the daughter wearing the Culture Club T-shirt from the beginning of the film, who's now a ghost. She's banging her head against the wall. So everyone in the house, all the different couples, Lisa Kudrow and her husband, Edie Falco and her husband, and the gay couple.
They all think the other group is having sex.
Like crazy gross sex.
Like crazy loud sex while everyone's there. But the worst is from the POV of the boys. I say boys, like the guys, because they're thinking that one of their set of parents is having sex.
No.
And like they're like, wow, it's like boom, boom, boom. And now I can't even imagine if I were with Jacob, either at his place or my place.
I can't believe you're going there.
And we heard someone's parents having like I can't even encompass
I'm
that.
surprised you're talking about it.
Because it's part of the movie and I think it's hilarious. But the best part is then you see Lisa Kudrow and she's saying, wow, like those other parents, they're really just going at it.
She goes, I want to believe it's pipes.
She's like, and then Edie Falco says like, wow, she's going to be sore tomorrow. The funny thing is neither of the parents think it's the sons having sex. Isn't that funny?
Which, you know, there's a gay stereotype that gay men always have lots of sex.
I always thought that they were going to be like, wow, our sons are just doing it like in front of us.
No, but they didn't go that route. Thank God.
No, they didn't. But also in the middle of the night, their friend Sarah arrives because she's like, why did she come?
I think when the guy took all the gummies, he said, "Please come visit."
This is too much. It's too stressful. So she actually goes down there, which you never infringe on their parents' weekend.
You find out that she is not liked by Edie Falco.
Yes, so we have this funny dynamic with her friend Sarah. She's very over the top. The parent, but the one other thing that happens that night is that Rose's dad, he goes into the basement and he gets possessed. Because something happens. He gets grabbed by that creature that we saw in the opening scene and he gets possessed. And the next morning, as they're having all these crazy, uncomfortable things with the new girl, Sarah, a really funny scene happens because the dad who's possessed walks into the room completely naked, and they even show him from behind. You see his butt.
Which I wonder if that's really Barry Cox's butt. Is that his name, Barry Cox?
No. It's Brian Cox. Barry Cox is the name of Ryan Phillippe, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yes.
That's a Freudian slip.
Wow, you wanted it to be Barry Cox.
No, I didn't.
You wanted to bury your cock somewhere. Sorry, it was too easy. Tim,
you're too easy.
Tim, look, you just fished that one to me.
I fished that one to you?
Yeah. So his dad, but the best part is that he has an erection, and they're all like
looking at it in the kitchen.
And Rose like, "Dad, what are you doing?" And he's like, and the possessed dad says, look at it. And I found that really funny.
No, it is right up Matt's alley of humor.
Exactly.
But I have very sophisticated humor. I like Shakespeare in the Park kind of humor.
So Dad, I was going to say Tim.
Yes, son?
Tim, if your dad walked out naked in front of you and let's just say friends.
Never.
I mean, I know it's you can't even think about it.
I don't want to think about my parents.
But okay, it's one thing if your dad walks out naked. If your dad walks out naked with an erection yelling, look at it, I don't think I could ever exist anymore.
No, I would be like, this weekend is over.
I just don't even know. And so basically, then also the possessed dad takes a knife and slices poor Josh twice on the arm.
Yes.
Just slice and slice.
But he wasn't naked while doing this.
No. He finally put on some clothes.
Just FYI.
No naked slicing.
He was only naked for a few seconds.
Yeah. But and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? He's obviously something is wrong.
Yeah, he's possessed. So they all are kind of, I don't know if they're using the word possession yet, but
not yet, but he does throw up a huge amount of gross stuff. And
that was in the hallway, and he does it on the cute gay one.
That was later.
Oh,
he threw up in the kitchen.
Oh, that's right.
Okay,
that's right. And then one thing, side note, Lisa Kudrow brought three little itty bitty dogs.
Yeah, I think she's fostering people's dogs. They weren't hers.
And so that cute little dog was licking up
the throw up and became possessed. And it gets a little goofy at this point because when they show the dog possessed, it looks almost cartoonish. It's eyes are all big and you're like, am I watching Goosebumps? But
it looked very Muppets.
It did look a little Muppetsy.
Which is fine.
And the funny thing is none of them are saying possessed yet, but they know that something is wrong with the dad. They think, is he having a stroke? Is there something wrong? They tell him to just go up and lay in bed. And the sad thing is that the couple, Ro and Josh, they're kind of fighting because Josh is not happy that Ro is making him be something he's not. He's even wanting him to dress like him.
I actually liked what he was wearing.
Yeah, because they all looked uptight. Usually the way Tim dresses.
I do. I was like, what's the problem here? I was like, if my boyfriend wants to dress like me, I'd be totally flattered.
They had sweaters with collared shirts out of it.
Gorgeous.
It looked like Tim. It was really funny. So Josh is not happy that Ro's making him dress like that. And Ro is not happy because I think he thinks Josh is embarrassing him or something.
Well, I think there's so many things that happen that are embarrassing for both families.
Yeah. Everything is just not working out. The weekend's not going so well. So when they finally realize that something supernatural is going on because the guys are sitting in a room and the spirit of the dead girl grabs Josh from the corner.
Oh, yeah. I think it was the mom because she was wearing that dress.
Oh, was it the mom? Yeah. So she's pulling him and Josh is screaming and Ro, he, instead of going to fight for him, he backs away and is pretending to fight.
Oh yeah. He's like, I'm going to get that ghost. I'm going to get that ghost. But then Lisa Kudrow comes in
She puts the lights on.
Yeah. She was wearing, what are these called?
Mittens.
Mittens for when you pull out some cookies from an oven.
Yeah. Mittens.
Yeah.
Mittens.
That's all.
Oven mitts, yeah. Well, she turns on the lights and the spirit disappears. So both guys are convinced there is a spirit in this house. We got to get out, but they can't leave because there's so much snow and there's no plow, so they can't get out of the driveway. But all the parents still are not believing that anything supernatural is going on. They don't quite buy it.
So is this when their friend that showed up, Sarah, is her name Sarah? she shows up and she decides to do some research in like the garage.
Yeah, she finds pictures of the family from the 80s. But while she's down there, they have a scene where
the son comes out without a face. And
the spirit. Yeah. Sorry, we got to explain this because it's like one of the ghosts of the son comes out.
So she finds a box and there's like a Polaroid conveniently, which has the mother and the son and the daughter all wearing the clothes that they were dyed in.
Yeah.
And so as she's running out with the box, not you take it.
You set it up. Good old Tim has to set up that. There he is. It's a weird decision because it's supposed to be, I think, a suspenseful part because she's backing away from like this spirit who's like, "Arr," and then out of nowhere, she just farts and everything stops. And she says, it was the door.
It was the door creaking.
And it was like, look, I love a good fart joke.
I loved it.
Good.
Oh, I was loving it.
It was a weird placement for it because I was like, they had
It
plenty of
worked.
spots to do it. It just felt like I was
You
like,
didn't think it worked?
only because I was like, I guess I thought
It
this was
so unexpected.
well, it was like a horror scene. So look, I've still a good fart joke is funny. It was weird. It was weird.
I appreciated it because we have seen a ghost story before. So you add a fart into a ghost story? That's funny.
Yeah. And it was funny that she stopped to make an excuse to the ghost. Like literally the ghost looks at her like, what?
It was the door creaking.
And the ghost is like, what? I don't think the ghost likes farts.
No. I mean, what ghost does? Name one.
So they do find out, of course they have to have some sort of story, that the spirit is named Andros, and apparently it controls storms, which I guess is why it's like snowing outside. And it was summoned and needs like a human host. And they're thinking, oh my God, like it's possessed Rose's dad, and that's what's going on.
So they lock Rose's dad into a room.
Well, what happens is what finally makes the parents believe it is that Edie Falco, Rose's mom, the dad creeps up on her and is levitating above ground and strangling her.
Yeah, so they do save her and she falls to the ground.
Yeah,
and they're like, okay, we've got to lock Dad up.
Yeah. Well, but before they lock him up, first off, Josh saved
gross.
Edie Falco. And at this time, she didn't really love him, but she was really, I guess, like, she was very much taken aback that he saved her versus her own son.
I mean, he had to redeem himself somehow.
Yeah. And right before they lock him up, the dad projectile vomits for probably 20 seconds straight.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And it was like noodles and gross stuff.
Well, because Phoebe, Lisa Kudrow, she made like this thing called Crazy Noodles.
Crazy Noodles. It's because there's all different types of noodles put next to each other. Crazy Noodles.
So
and he
they were vomited.
Yeah. But I gotta say, as the actor, Brandon Flynn, he had to sit there and just imagine if like they hosed you for 20 seconds with
fake
disgusting
vomit.
Noodles. Yeah. Could you do it?
Sure. I'm getting paid.
Without vomiting?
No, I'm not a...
Oh, that gross stuff doesn't make you feel like you're going to vomit?
If someone vomits in front of me, I mean, if I'm standing right there for a long time, maybe, but I can be like, okay.
If you told me like it's just, like I would just in my mind have to think it's not real vomit. It's not real vomit.
Of course.
Like, yeah. So they lock him in a room. Finally, they realize, okay, he's possessed. But the funny thing about this ghost is apparently the ghost that possessed his dad is like sort of homophobic because he keeps like saying, dirty queers. Like,
right, like he goes, if I was going to possess a body, I don't think I'd pick this one with a small penis.
He says that about the dad, and he's like, oh, I bet he's trying to goad like Josh into just, and he's just being mean to him, and he's like, oh, if his dad has a small dick, I bet Ro has one too. You don't like it in your butt, do you? And at first I was like, okay, these are just like
it's crude,
easy, crude gay jokes, but I was laughing.
Yeah, we were laughing. And that's what comedy's all about.
Yeah, and it's like, even if it's like third grade humor, like I still like third grade humor.
Me too.
Well,
I'm going to go preschool.
You're going to go preschool. What's preschool humor?
Preschool humor is like, diaper jokes.
hey diaper bitch.
That's a little
never. So they have some other funny jokes. Like there is one part where Lisa Kudrow's telling her husband that the possessed guy was trying to call her a cunt, but she's trying to reenact it, and she
couldn't say it.
She said no, but she says he dragged it out for so long, and he said cunt, and they just like have her drag it out for so long. I found that funny.
I mean, I did laugh. I think anytime Lisa Kudrow or Edie Falco did anything, I laughed.
Says cunt, then you're
I
like,
definitely don't ever laugh at that.
So as they're like trying to figure out what to do, the moms actually are starting to bond over wine because Edie Falco's totally stressed out, and she actually tells Lisa Kudrow that she really respects that Lisa Kudrow's son, Josh, saved her. And she's like, I'm sorry I haven't been the nicest. And they're starting to bond.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest obstacle in the movie is Edie Falco being stubborn because the other parents are kind
of okay, except for the possessed one, of course.
Well, not the possessed one, but that's Edie Falco's husband.
Yeah,
so it's like the other couple.
One thing that really actually I jumped a little. I don't know if you noticed when we were watching.
Are you talking about the scene where the ladies were having wine?
So yes, they're bonding over wine, and randomly out of nowhere, the possessed dog from before jumps up and grabs Lisa Kudrow's hand, and I actually jumped. I can't believe I jumped at this movie.
I did not jump at all, only because I was pretty calm. Not that I had a gummy.
Yeah, how much did you have? 7 gummies?
I had 7 gummies. I was like, man, this movie's the best I've ever seen.
Out of nowhere, and this was funny, is that Lisa Kudrow's husband is trying to help her, and he says, hold on, hold up the dog. I'm going to stick my finger in his ass. Now, I don't know about you, but the first thing I would think of to get a dog off of someone is not stick my finger in his ass.
Well, I mean, it worked. Was he a vet or something? Why did that happen?
I think he
knew that the dog would let go?
Would let go its grip if it got a finger in its ass. But so he shoves his finger in the dog's ass in a very cartoonish look. The dog's like, huh?
Yeah, that was funny. I mean, but then because it is a comedy, it's not like Lisa Kudrow had blood all over her arm.
Yeah,
it
no
was just
blood.
she was like, oh, the bracelet saved me.
Also, and by the way, there's no stakes in this movie in terms of, no one's going to die. It's rated PG-13. It's a horror comedy.
It's just PG-13?
Yeah, it was PG-13, even though they said cunt. Well, they didn't even fully say the C word.
Well, not only that, but they did stick a finger up a butt. I would think that would at least get a rated R.
Oh, just for a finger up the butt? That's the butt. Pure 7th grade stuff.
Okay. All right. So, what do I know?
So keeping the story going through, we have Josh and Ro go next door because they finally see a light on. They think they can get help.
So the big clue is it's Parker Posey who is behind all of this because the young girl, Allie, and her Culture Club t-shirt and her were friends, and they have a flashback.
It's really funny because you have Parker Posey playing herself in the 80s. But, it's Parker Posey playing a 16-year-old.
She's in her 50s now. And so it they put her in braces and they make her look 80s. It's very funny.
But it's still Parker Posey. It's like if you put Tim and I in a flashback to be teenagers, but didn't do anything.
12-year-olds.
Didn't do anything to age us down.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, okay.
They're like, hey, why you guys look like men?
With my gray hair.
Gray haired teenager.
Well, they did make Parker Posey's hair.
You find out that Parker Posey was the 80s girl's friend, and they had decided they were going to summon a demon because the girl was mad at her mom. But it got out of control, and the girl even was like, you're going too far, and left the circle, and she got killed too. So literally, Parker Posey was the only one who survived and has been serving this demon for how many years?
A lot of years.
40 years?
Yeah. So yeah, I guess.
Yeah. And she says,
she lives next door, and she's been waiting for this day for someone to get the first Airbnb people. And she wanted the gay guys to be the ones that get possessed because they have young bodies. But instead it's the Shakespearean actor.
Yeah, she said, I've been waiting for a host for this spirit. It wasn't supposed to be an old man, but it was going to be one of the young guys. But she said it needs a human host. And as soon as it leaves the circle, that circle at the beginning that she carved, then it can kill all of them and kill humankind. Not sure why she was part of this, but
I think she was the one that wanted to summon the demon. I think she was just obsessed with summoning demons.
She just and braids down her
oh my
butt.
gosh. So Parker Posey wears a series of crazy wigs.
Crazy hairstyles. It's gray and long and weird and whatever.
It's comedy.
Anyway, so she's as soon as your dad leaves this circle around the house, then this demon is, I don't know, unleashed on the world. So they're like, oh shit, we can't let, the dad leave. So they have this big ending scene where the possessed dad is making his way outside, and the circle around the house is how did it fill with flames?
She remember at the beginning of the movie, she takes a stick and then she says some kind of something to trigger all the fire. But this is where the young gay guy tries to step up. And he deflects and he's like, oh no, come into me, right?
Yeah. So Ro, who this whole movie has been not really standing up for Josh, not standing up for anyone, didn't go and save his mom. Josh had to. He finally is rather than letting my dad go and, unleash this demon on the world, I'm gonna sacrifice myself, you know, and he says the weird Latin thing to try to get the demon to come into him, and he wants Josh to shoot him. Like Josh is gonna just shoot his
like,
boyfriend.
shoot your dad, or shoot your boyfriend, or shoot whoever.
So Josh decides, no, I can't let you do that. So he says the Latin phrase, and the demon starts to come into him. Then everyone together starts trying to confuse the demon, and they all get in a circle and start saying the chant. It's chaos.
Right. And then Edie Falco comes out, and then she says she starts doing the robot because she said earlier in the film that she would tell her son to go to sleep acting like a robot.
She thought that
it was kind of funny.
She thought that would scare him so he wouldn't be scared of monsters, her doing the robot dance. But the best is that this climactic scene at the end, they're all trying to summon this demon, confuse it, and she comes out doing the robot thinking that'll scare it.
Which I was like, okay, Edie Falco doing the robot's pretty funny.
It is. I mean, all you have to say is Edie Falco doing the robot. I'm going to laugh.
Yeah.
You know? So the demon, and it looks like a weird smoke monster. It can't decide which human host to go in. And Parker Posey's going nuts like, no, you're messing with them. You're messing with them. Finally, the demon takes like form.
Yeah. So it's like a bird. It looks like a weird bird. It looks like a pterodactyl.
Sorta, yeah.
I could not spell that, but I can say it.
It's P-T-E.
It starts with a P?
It does.
I'm not going to say that. So the pterodactyl like falls to the ground, and then doesn't someone put their foot on its neck?
Yes, the dad who had been possessed, not only does he get the kill shot in when he steps on the demon's neck, but his final line is, "My dick is big," and he steps on the spirit because, you know, dick jokes.
No one likes to be told they have a small wee.
No one likes to be. And apparently while he was possessed, he could still hear what the demon was saying.
Right. He made a mental note.
Yeah. So
then he had all these things on his back, and it all disappears.
All these things on his back.
Yeah, I mean, because he was a possessed person, now he's not a possessed person.
So they've gotten rid of the demon. And the funny part is that it switches to the next day, right? And the whole thing was that Ro was going to be proposing to his boyfriend, Josh. Well, when he was angry during the stay, he had thrown the ring outside. Well, Josh goes and finds the ring and decides to propose to Ro himself.
That was very sweet.
Very sweet. But the funniest part about this scene is that the family, they've been through a lot. They all like each other now. Parker Posey is still there hanging out with them.
Yeah,
and they're like,
what are you doing here? And then they cut to the three people that were possessed in the beginning, like the mom and the daughter and the son.
They're all spirits. They can go to heaven now.
Like she flicks off Parker Posey, and she goes, "Oh, we used to do that when we were younger. That means nothing." She goes, "People did that in the 80s." And that's when I got my biggest laugh. I was like, that's
really
funny.
Because we were wondering, like, why is Parker Posey hanging out with them? Like, she was trying to murder all of them. And they even say to her, like, "You're going to jail, bitch." Like, and the best, like Tim said, when the spirit flips her off and she's like, "Oh, we did that in the 80s. And then the final line of the movie is Lisa Kudrow's. And it's really funny because Lisa Kudrow's been saying kind of crude stuff during the movie, but she's like, "Oh, this isn't me." So as she's walking off, she says, "Suck my dick" to Parker Posey. And she's like, "Oh my God, I don't know what's gotten into me. That's not me." Credits.
Right. And then there's a little, which I did laugh. Yeah. And then there was this little credit scene where between the gay couple driving with their dog.
Oh, and they were talking about, they're like, "Wow, that spirit, when it was a bird, why was it so homophobic? I mean, you're a fucking bird." Yeah. And then they're like, "Look, it's nothing, but I think the worst part was seeing my dad's hard," and he was going to say cock.
And then it credits roll comedy.
Comedy. So, Tim, what were your overall thoughts on the parenting?
You know, it's such an easy view. Like, I mean, like, it's not like something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre where you need to be like in a mind space to watch it.
Yeah.
This you could just watch, and it just kind of splashes on your face like
like a morning wash.
Yes, I really enjoyed it.
Like a rainforest.
Yeah, I mean, it's crude, but I mean, I think it's a funny comedy.
What do you think? How do you think it balanced the horror comedy aspects?
Very well. I mean, I can't even say it's horror aspects. I think anytime there was like special effects or whatever was going on, like supernatural, I thought it was done in such a way that it was strictly comedy. Yeah. I don't think there was anything, if it was supposed to be scary, I missed the boat. Or maybe you and I are so desensitized, we're just like, okay.
I mean, I think how you described it at first is kind of how I feel in a way, because it's a very easy watch. Like, you can watch this in any mood and it'll brighten your day because it's a bunch of great comic actors being funny.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would have liked this film if it was in other people's hands or
other actors.
Like, because because I love Parker Posey and I love Lisa Kudrow. I'm not that familiar with Edie Falco. I wasn't a Sopranos fan.
But what I will say, look, I thought it was okay. It's silly. It's really silly. Of course, I appreciated the crude humor, and I love a good dick joke. I love that they had a gay main characters or a gay couple. But what I love about it, and we've talked about this more, is that it wasn't about them coming out to their parents. It was just they were a gay couple.
Like it just already existed.
Yeah, they already existed. And I like that. And I think we should do that more with gay couples in movies. It doesn't have to always be about coming out.
And like how boring would the film would have been if it was just a straight couple? Like, who cares?
No,
I'm kidding. It would have been fine.
Yeah. But it was like from a horror perspective.
I just hit my chin on here.
Nice. And guess what? You're on video.
Oh, God.
You on candid camera, bitch.
Everyone rewind. I hit my chin right here.
From the horror aspects of it, like Tim said, they're really, it does have a supernatural presence.
You did jump over a dog.
I did, but it's so kooky. All of the horror. Look, you're not going to be scared at all from this movie.
I had nightmares.
The comedy is funny. I thought it was okay. It's silly. It's a silly horror comedy. I would say it veers much more into like almost comedy parody aspect versus actual horror comedy. I enjoyed it. It just wasn't something that I thought, oh my God, it was hilarious.
I'm actually curious why it sat on the shelf for 3 years.
I don't know, because a great cast, or maybe they wanted to wait till Parker Posey was in White Lotus.
Well, I mean, actually, if they're capitalizing on it, that's great.
No, and again, like, you're not going to watch this and not have a smile on your face. I just don't think it's going to be a movie that you're going to be like, oh my God, this was one of the greatest movies of 2025.
I mean, would you watch it with your parents?
Yeah.
Same here. I would too.
I think my parents would laugh at certain things. I just think that the story was kind of corny, but it was funny. I mean, I found ourselves laughing at different moments. I agree with you that if it wasn't actors that we knew and really like thought were funny, it could have really
It would have been so flat.
It would have fallen flat. But I think all the characters were likable and they had something to them. It's just, I did feel like some of the horror aspects were a little forced, but you know, what are you going to do? They're trying to make Meet the Parents with a supernatural movie, you know?
So it'd be called Meet the Ghost.
You know, Tim, you should take my job at the ad agency.
Oh, I should.
Tim, Meet the Ghost. What if I said that hurt?
You hurt my huge pectoral muscle.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I mean, I'm wondering, like, what kind of person do you think would appreciate this the most? Like people who, you know what? I can tell you who I think. People who don't like horror that's too serious.
I think anyone that watches Saturday Night Live religiously would love it. I do.
I'm trying to think from a horror fan. From a comedy fan, yes, definitely. But I think, again, we always talk about like who you can see this movie with. Your friends who are like, oh my God, I can't see a really scary movie. They can see this one.
Yeah.
Your friends who are like, I can't see a really gory movie. They can see this one. It's not too gory.
And if they can't, give them the keys to the street and do it tonight.
The keys to the street?
That's right.
I'm sorry, what key opens the street?
You know the key.
You know the key. Look. Oh, there's the street.
I've been looking for.
No, it's the kind of movie you can invite a lot of people over, horror fans, comedy fans, and at least kind of have fun with it because it is very light on the horror, big on the comedy, I guess is the main thing.
I agree with you. Yeah. 110% Matthew.
But you know what? Like, but it was fun. And we've watched so much, like, I mean, our bonus episodes this month in March. And if you are not a patron and would like to hear us talk about stuff from the past, you can join at patreon.com.
Yes, and we also talk about how we met John Shepard from Friday the 13th Part 5.
Yes, that we have an after show every month where we talk about just random stuff. But we revisited some really like serious sleazy horror movies from the 80s in our after show. In our bonus episodes.
Maniacs.
So it was nice to have like a very light horror comedy in this. You know, we like to mix it up, right, Tim?
Yeah, I like to mix it up. Sometimes I like a vodka drink.
I like a vodka drink. I drink a whiskey drink.
That's all I know.
It. Okay, anyway, that's it for our parenting episode. Check it out on Max, and thank you, everyone.
Bye, parents.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Happy Horror Time.
If you'd like to support the podcast, please sign up to be a patron at www.patreon.com/happyhorrortime. As a patron, you get access to all our bonus content, which now includes 2 new bonus episodes every month, a monthly after show mini episode, access to our Discord community so you can chat with us directly, and the chance to review a film with us in one of our bonus episodes.
Patrons also get all our regular episodes ad-free and a day early. our monthly newsletter, the chance to vote in polls, and autographed Happy Horror Time stickers.
I'm Matt Emmert.
And I'm Tim Murdoch.
And we hope you have a happy horror time.